Hey everybody, welcome back to Ogre Speed Shop. So we're gonna get into working on the engine of this Camaro, the 400. So we're gonna tear it down. Well, not tear it down. We're gonna reseal it, get a balancer on there, and see if we can get it fired up. So let's get into it. I'm gonna go ahead and drain the pan on this thing and drop it while it's vertical like this. That way it doesn't make a big mess. And because all the oil should be pretty much in the bottom, because it hasn't run for so long. You know, we cranked it a few times, but you know, it never really fired up. But so let's get it oil drained, see what's in it. And I think I might pull the distributor too. I don't want to pull the intake because it's sealed up pretty good. It doesn't seem to be leaking. But I want to pull the distributor back out just to look, put my bore scope down there, see if we can see what the lifters are. See if it's still flat tappet, if they converted it to roller or anything like that. But anyways, let's go ahead and drain the oil. Well, the good thing is the oil looks exactly the way it did when we checked on the dipstick. It looks brand new. So, doesn't look too bad. Looks like it might be high zinc style of some sort. Hard to say though. So I already set up pretty much the top dead center number 1. It's a little bit past, I think. I'm not sure. I can't tell because I don't have a pointer or a balancer for that. Should be here tomorrow. It is coming. Except for the pointer, I gotta figure that out. We're gonna go ahead and pull the distributor out. Just put my scope down in there, see what we got for valve train. Well, it looks like we have some aftermarket, maybe hardened push rods. It's hard to see. I can't get this focus without glaring. You can see that. It's RP3212R. Yeah, it definitely looks like a flat tappet still. I don't see any, what are they called? You know, things that hold up or keep rollers in place. Looks pretty clean in there though. That's probably not a good sign, unless it's supposed to be like that. That water's coming out of one of the mounting holes for accessories in the front of the head. I didn't think it had any coolant in it. I'm trying to keep my dogs away from it. But yeah, look at that. It's coming out of the head. But hey, it's got green coolant in it. Okay, so now that I look a little closer, that hole is really thin. Like they drilled it out for, I don't know what the hell they drilled it out for accessory maybe. But you can see over here, these are all on flats. You get over here, there's one on the flat. And these two have been added. This one, look at that. I mean, that goes all the way up inside the water jacket. Which I think, as long as you seal it, it'll probably be all right. Because that was drilled and tapped. It's just very thin. So you have to put like a bolt and seal it in there. So I'm not sure what they were actually trying to mount up there, but I mean, who knows? Just trying to clean all the dirt daubers out. So I guess I gotta clean this up too. I mean, look how much crap is on that. I might pull the timing cover off just to see what the cam is, because I got a feeling it's an aftermarket cam. And if I can see the stampings on the ends of it, since they've already bent the tabs off like they were gonna remove it, I might as well pull it off real quick. And I got it set the top dead center number 1 right now, so we should be good to go. So these are the cam specs I found online. So the original number, that 00012, was what was stamped on the end of the cam. This is a new number. This is a pre-2011 part number. So the RPM range is 2,500 to 6,500, so it's a pretty high revving engine for the time. It's a 515 lift with 1.5 roller rockers. I think we know that's what was on there. So we got a 246 duration at 50 thousandths. The advertised duration is 300 thousandths. 108 lobe separation, and hydraulic lifters. So hydraulic flat tappet lifters. So that's our cam specs. Pretty stout cam actually, so we'll see once we get it running what it can do. I got the timing cover put back on now, sealed up. Hopefully it'll actually be sealed up. I don't like usually using an RTV, but these chrome covers and the fact that it's got a cam button that was kind of pushing out on it. I kind of dented it a little bit from the inside to clear a little bit. But you can see how the edges are kind of, whatever. But I put RTV on it, so hopefully it'll seal up the gaps. And, but yeah, we can put the oil pan back on after I clean it up and hopefully get this thing going here pretty soon. The balancer is supposed to be here today. It's supposed to be here Tuesday, now then Wednesday, now it's Thursday, and it's finally supposed to be here. We'll see. I'm beginning to wonder if maybe the reason they were turning this off is because it's making noise right here from the cam button hitting this piece of crap chrome cover. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the story on this motor. It was built 20 some years ago. Supposedly 600 horsepower, but I don't know about that. I think I might scope the one of the piston bores or one of the cylinders just to see if I can see any markings on it, like if it's bored over or whatever. You can see it's got head studs, even though that's not the right nut for it. But anyways, what the heck, they grind off stuff on this thing? I don't understand people. But yeah, this is definitely an interesting build. Definitely gotta get rid of those freaking platinum plugs, because platinum's not good for carb motors in my opinion. But yeah. So the timing converter's on. We're gonna flip it over now and get the pan put on. Hopefully the balancer gets here today. I don't know, but right now I have it set at top dead center number 1, as you can see. That way when it gets here, I'll know where the marker needs to be and what I can use for a marker. I just gotta find one. Here's a shot of the bottom end. Still just a 2-bolt main, so no big deal there. The rods look like they're pretty much stock. Pistons definitely don't look stock, but who knows? We'll check the cylinders once we get the pan on. Let's see what we got. It looks like that's a little gummed up, but yeah, I'm gonna clean it up, get the pan put on. I had to remove the studs because they weren't long enough to work with the one-piece oil pan gasket, so I'm just gonna use regular bolts. But other than that, should be good to go. Get the pan on. There you have it. We have the engine pretty much reassembled, sealed back up. We're gonna pull a spark plug and see if we can figure out the pistons. We're not gonna do number 1 because that's top dead center right now. We know that. So 6 is top dead center. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll find one that's down inside the cylinder as far as we can. Get a bore scope down in there, see what we see. Scope this, and the only thing I could see is that they look like they're dome top pistons. Like they look like they have a pretty good dome on them. I don't know how to record on this thing, but I'd love to show you, but I don't know how to do it. I only got 2 hands, so I can't hold both and record at the same time. But I didn't see any marks as far as oversized, like bored over, but doesn't mean nothing. But yeah, I think we're about ready to get this thing back together and see if we can fire it up. So I don't know how well it's going to come across on camera here, especially with all the glare, and that's all it's doing is glaring. But you can kind of see there's a dome top piston there. Good. In the dark would be any better. I don't know, you can kind of see it there. It's hard to make this thing work. I gotta figure out if there's a way of recording on this thing. I've had it for like 2 years now and I still haven't figured out how to use it, but as far as recording, I mean, I use it all the time, but anyways, definitely a dome top piston. There's no markings I can find. I'm gonna spray some WD-40 in all the cylinders just to lube them up. You can see a little bit of rust in there, but the cylinder walls look decent. And those pistons don't have any carbon on them whatsoever, so I don't think this thing's been run much. Maybe they couldn't get it running. I don't know. We'll figure it out though. I'm sure this pan's a little higher capacity, but the dipstick that came with it is broken off, so I borrowed the one out of my other engine here. And it's showing full, but I don't know how accurate that is either, but it's got 5 quarts in it, but it's probably a little bit bigger than that. I might add another quart and see from there. But yeah, we'll borrow the one from my motor until we get a different one for this one. In case you're wondering what I'm actually using this time, it's some 1030 Lucas High Zinc hot rod and classic oil. I do have some VR1 up there, but I was saving that for that engine, and since I got to order either one of them, you know, I wasn't really planning on this one. So we get some stuff I had on the shelf for a couple years. I bought it for the Firebird, but it hasn't needed an oil change in a couple of years because I don't drive it enough, which I need to remedy that. But anyways, so here we are. We got oil in it, at least enough to crank it. The balancer is out for delivery, so that's good on that. But yeah, we're getting close. All right, so we're gonna get this balancer installed on the 400. As you can see, my 350 is sitting next to it. This is for the C10, the 69. So they both needed balancers, and they're both getting balancers. But I'm gonna show you to make sure. I'm gonna show you the proper way of doing this, because you don't want to use a hammer, because that can screw stuff up on the inside. And they actually make a tool. It's not that expensive. I've had this one probably for 25 years, and I think I got it from probably Cragen back in the day before it was O'Reilly's, I'm sure. So that's what I'm going to use for that. It's actually a real simple tool. Got a couple parts to it. So you have this shank right here, a bolt that goes through it. Then you have to pick the size of the of whatever the hole is in here. That's where this little thing goes. It screws into this part, onto that bolt right there. Now you can screw this into the crank. Make sure you get it in there far enough to where it's not going to pull the threads out. You want a good thread engagement. One thing about this tool, a lot of times that little part that goes into it gets stuck. Okay, we're good on that depth there. All right, so the next part, this is the what makes it all work. It has this little bearing part right here, so it actually spins. I added a washer because over time it's started to wear out. So I put the washer on there to aid in the smoothness of it. Screw that on there. I'll tell you what, the gas that was in this Camaro is pretty potent, because fuel pump's sitting here right next to me, and it's bad. All right, so we're going to need this 9/16 wrench. You hold it on there, and you get a crescent. You take your crescent, or if you want, you can you actually have the right size wrench for this. So let me grab it. I don't remember exactly what size it is. I think it's 1.25 inches. Yep, so it's 1.25 inches. So now at this point, you just hold on to this little attachment and just crank her on. This takes a little while, but now the only thing I'm worried about is this balancer being the right one, because I don't know what's done to internally. I don't know if they changed the crank. If they changed the crank and made it internally balanced, I don't know. It was all apart, if you remember. So it's hard to say. Just hoping that a stock 400 balancer is going to fit, is the right one. I usually like to grease some threads on this, but I forgot to, so we're just going to use some penetrating oil just to give it a little bit of lubrication, so we can dull the threads. Like I said, I had this kit for probably 25 years. I actually have a broken one, and it's a 1/2 inch one. I'm not sure what that was even for, maybe for a Ford. Right there's a timing mark too, so we know we're good because that's about where it should be. We just don't have a timing pointer for this engine yet. And you go till it stops, and that's it. You back her off and you can unscrew everything. Sometimes that little piece that goes into the crank likes to get stuck in there, but it's loose enough that should you just unscrew it by hand. Maybe a pair of pliers or something. It's loose, I can feel it, I just can't get a good grip on it. There we go. Now your balancer's installed. You're good to go. This one hasn't had a balancer on it for a while. So that's why, having the right tools is pretty important in the automotive industry, because it really helps to make your job a lot easier. It's not too often you get to see two different engines side by side. So these are very similar, and as far as you know what they are, this is a 1975 350 out of a van or bus. This is a 1974 400 out of a big car, and they're both 2-bolt mains. But the difference, one of the major differences, this is internally balanced. The 350 is internally balanced, and you can see this has got a cut in it. See, it's got the shelf where this doesn't. Might have a couple holes, but that makes it neutrally balanced. But that's where the main balance part comes in, is where it's cut away right there. So this is externally balanced for the 400, internally balanced for the 350. Bore and stroke's different. This is a 4.125 bore. This is 4-inch. The stroke, don't quote me on this. I think it's 375, 3.75. This is like 3.38 or something odd. But excuse me. But just some minor differences there. So internally balanced, externally balanced. So that's why the balances are different. And that's perfectly lined up with 0, which is cool. And this one here, I don't know because we don't have a pointer, but that should be pretty close to 0. We just got to figure that out. I try to get a pointer for it, but we just don't have one. So, but yeah, that's what we're trying to get running here, is this one. So we got this thing almost ready to go again. The crappy air breather, the breather up here it wouldn't go back in, and it ended up bending, and yeah, I tossed it, so I gotta get a new one for that, but it ain't no big deal. It just needs the vent, so it's got the PCV on that side. But anyways, I'm rambling. We need to rebuild this carburetor because I got a feeling, I'm gonna test it here in a minute, that when I put the fuel down the bowls, that nobody seemed to realize I did that because all they saw was 12 seconds of a video of me checking for spark, and they assumed I didn't put any fuel in it. But anyways, I think it's dumping straight through it somehow. We're gonna find that out here in a minute, but yeah, it needs rebuilt. Got the rebuild kit right here, so we should be able to get it back on there and running. I think it's kind of a small carburetor though for this engine. If it's as built as they say it was, it's supposed to be 600 horsepower. A little 650. I don't think it's big enough, but you never know. It might be. So let's get it over to the bench after I clean some stuff up and get this thing torn apart. See if we can figure out and make it run. Figure out what's wrong with it and make it run right. All right, it's time to get into this carburetor for that 400. Very high compression, pretty well built by the looks of it. 400 that came out of the Camaro. The first thing I want to do, because a lot of people didn't see this in the video of me trying to start it, or not trying to start it, trying to test it for spark, is I put fuel down the bowls. And when I did that, it just seemed to disappear. I don't know where it went. It's got a feeling it's like just pouring out from somewhere, because it just all disappeared. There wasn't anything left in this carburetor, and it never started, so it never ran. But it doesn't look like it's pouring out anywhere that I can see. We definitely don't have an accelerator pump. And nothing comes out of it. So I don't know where all that fuel went, unless when it fires up for the few seconds it did, it just sucked it all through somehow. But we're going to find out. That's why we're here. We're going to tear this thing apart and see what we got. And bear with me, because this is the first time I've ever done an Edelbrock. I've done plenty of Hollies. Never an Edelbrock. It's got a bunch of parts in there. Now I'm dealing with fuel everywhere. I love these rags because they're pretty cheap at Walmart for 100 of them. But because they're the way they are, they get stuck on everything. So as far as I know, as far as I remember, we can disconnect the linkage and pull this whole top off. So we pull this off. Maybe not. Oh, probably disconnected from right there. Duh. Okay. Like I said, bear with me. I've never taken one of these apart. I can't see. I haven't got to that age. For one, I need a stool. But two, I can't see what I'm doing anymore. And there's the clip. Separate rag for all the parts. Let's go ahead and reattach this little thing. There was no reason to disconnect that. Like I said, leave me alone. It's my first time. Okay, so now that the lever is disconnected, I don't see anything else that's connected. So we should just be able to pull this off. There it is. Just going to clean the top off a little bit here. All right, so leave it down in the comments. Which ones you like better, Edelbrock's or Holly's? And why? Not just, the other sucks. Give me a reason why. I'm all for anything that works. I'm not sure I'm liking this block of wood, but allows me to work the throttles and everything if I need to. As far as I remember, this should just lift right out, right? And the floats and everything should come with it. Whoa, what the heck? Is that rain? I got the truck parked outside. I'll be back. All right, well, it started raining. Not much, but the 2500 isn't sealed, so I don't want to take any chances of it getting completely wet. And now I got these things in the way. Hopefully the rain ain't too loud. Hopefully the microphone's working, not muffled by my shirt. All right. Ooh, yuck. Dang. I wonder if those floats are rusted through or something. It's surprising the accelerator pump ain't working, but it could be because this is nasty inside. Well, there's some of the, well, see that color is blue, right? Well, the gas that's inside this is green. So what I added has turned green because of the, what, probably yellow, mucky, nasty stuff that was in there. So, yeah. I don't think the spring was supposed to be stuck down in there. Ugh. Yeah, there any check balls or anything that can fall out if I dump this out? It's rusty and crusty down inside here in some places. This is where I really wish I had a, it's getting way too loud. I wish I had a sonic cleaner. Might be the next investment. There's chunks of this spring still down inside there. Hopefully the kit came with a new one. A sea of spring. Those don't reach. These ones will reach. Right in the face. So yeah, that spring is broken, you can see. And this thing is just full of crud. All right, let's get some of these parts off of here. The jets, well, we can take this idle mixture screws out. Get all the ports cleared out so we can clean everything out. It's a little less pointy than what I expect from, or what I see in a Holly. Let's see if this one's the same. Yeah, pretty much. Well, there's a major vacuum leak right there. There's another one there. One of these had something over it. This was the EGR or PCV? EGR. Okay, so it's got some nasty stuff in here. I'll bring you in so you can see it. See how nasty that is down inside there? If I could get it to focus. There we go, there's some focus. That is just full of junk. So we got to take all these little parts off of here and clean them. Because this carburetor was not working. Still don't know where all the gas went though. It went somewhere. So whatever airflow was flowing through this must have been sucking it out as fast as it was going in. So I don't know. Hopefully getting this thing rebuilt will fix all those problems. All right, so I got the bottom half done. I just went through, I mean, it was just cleaning is all I was doing. So I went through and cleaned all the emulsion tubes and made sure they were all flowing free, which they are now. They were clogged up. These little ones right here were completely clogged up on the other end. So now that those are free, we should definitely get everything working right. These jets were clogged up as well. And so yeah, clean the jets. They weren't too bad. This one here had a little junk in it, but not too bad. I think the only thing I can complain about as far as rebuilding this is anybody with fingers can't really fit their fingers down inside this little hole to put those jets back in. So you just got to kind of stick it in there and then use a screwdriver to line it up and get it in. So it wasn't horrible, but so all the orifices in the bottom half are clean and good to go. So in the top half, I cleaned everything on this too. Basically the only thing is the inlet going through. So now I got to do the needle and seats because I got brand new ones for that. Tested these in water, make sure they weren't leaking, and they didn't seem to be, so we'll see. We should be good to go. The jets, or the needles, what are these called? I can't remember what they're called, but yeah. So we got to put those back in, and yeah, but we can put those back in after the rest of it's together. Actually makes it a little bit easier, I think. So, but that's where we're at, almost done. One main thing on an adult brock, you have to put the gasket between the two halves on first before you put the floats on, because the floats will block it. All right, there you have it. She is complete. I think I got the lever in the right hole. I don't know. It's hard to say. I got to put a clip on that. I might have to go back and look at the videos some more and see if I can see which hole it's in. There's three choices, so I'm not sure. Yep, all done. Should flow a lot better and actually flow now because all the passages are clear. I mean, the entire accelerator pump valley down here was completely corroded and filled with crap. So that was probably our problem from the get-go. And the emulsion tubes were clogged up, so yeah, it needed clean. And I think we'll be all right. All right, so we've almost got this thing ready to fire up. The accelerator pump definitely works now. I tested it out and it works. I got new cables put on there. I think I'm gonna get my engine hoist over there. That thing right there, over here for extra support because this is as torquey as it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be 620 foot-pounds of torque from 20 years ago, remember? But if it torques that much, it could twist itself off the engine stand. I've started engines on these stands before and they work fine, but they do twist. So I changed out the bolt here, so it's a little less movement on it now, but it's still gonna torque a little bit. What else? I gotta hook up a fuel system. I think the fuel pump works, but we'll find out for sure. And it's a Holly, but it smells horrible, and you can see how the gasket's not looking too great. But we'll see if it works. If it doesn't, I can gravity feed it or something. We'll figure it out. But yeah, we're getting close to get ready to fire this up. It's still raining out, but I will open up the shop to do it. And it doesn't really matter what the rain's doing at that point because it'll be too loud to even worry about it. When this thing fires up on these open headers, I don't have any kind of exhaust to put on it, so it's going to be open header. All we're trying to do is see if it'll start and run, basically, and idle a little bit. If we can get it to do that, well, we'll be good to go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and crank this for the first time since I put everything together and, whatnot, and got it sealed back up. I also want to see if the fuel pump's kicking, but I'm covering it up because that's some nasty smelling fuel in there. So if it's pumping, we can use it. I just look at the diaphragm for it. It probably definitely needs to be replaced, but maybe it'll come around. I don't know. So yeah, got an oil pressure gauge hooked up here so we can check it to make sure it's doing good. It shouldn't kick off because I'm not hooking the ignition yet. Not to mention there's no spark plugs in it, so it kind of can't, though. But so I just want to check the oil pressure basically. I'll face that towards you once I get everything hooked up here. All right, so get some ground on there. Trigger plugged in. I changed cables too, so I got better cables. I got good power for the starter. Tell you what, this Maddox from Harbor Freight, so far it's been the best one I've ever had. It's nice thick cable, it's sturdy. All the other ones have been kind of chintzy that you get from normal auto parts stores. But let's see if we get some oil pressure here. See how much it kicks to when we hit the button. Well, that's not good. Not seeing any oil pressure. Do you hear how it slowed down once the oil pressure kicked in? Now, we had the oil pan off of it and we put fresh oil in it, so, but yeah, we're looking good now. Slow cranking like that, 50 psi. I'll take that any day. All right, so I think we're ready for spark plugs and get the cap in row to put the cap back on there. I've got some AC Delco 44 XSs or whatever, XS 44. You know, the standard copper plug for these engines. With this much compression and the way this thing's built, you definitely need to run a little colder plug because of the compression. But it's definitely going to be better than the platinum ones that were in it, because those are like the worst things you can do for a high compression carbureted engine, in my opinion. Yeah, somebody could probably tell me different, but I've always felt that the copper plugs are best for these older engines. So that's what we're going to do, get those in there, get everything hooked up, and I don't think this pumped at all. In fact, I'm going to test that again. I'm going to hook fuel to it and see, but I'm not going to bore you with that. I really wish I would have been recording that. Fuel pump works, and my ceiling might actually know that for sure now. This is just draining fuel now. All right, so we got a working fuel pump, so we'll hook that up too. Especially now we got fresh gas through it, got all that yellow nasty stuff out of there, but gotta let that evaporate for a little bit first because I don't want to fire it up with open headers that close to a fuel source. So let me get everything hooked back up on this thing, and I'll be back. All right, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to crank it without hooking up the ignition, which is right here, the ignition wire right there, just to make sure the fuel pump or the carburetor is not going to overflow. Make sure the needle and seat's working. Start cranking, see what it does. Okay, we got filled up to the carburetor. I think I want to put a spring on that because it's really loose. I'll just put a little chain right here. All right. So we got fuel, oil pressure. You gotta remember this is a really high compression engine. So the starter being a stock 75 starter, you know, you gotta hope it just does all right. The battery is fully charged, but it's got 700 cold cranking amps, so it should be good. But let's find out with some ignition now. All right, scary part. All right, will it work? A little bit. Still doing the same thing I was doing in the yard. Okay, I think we're We need to move a little bit more to, you know, adjust better. So I'll be back. We'll figure it out, but she's firing. All right, I rotated the plug wires one. So this is number one now. So it's definitely retarded a little bit there. And the chain is kind of getting in the way. Yeah, stupid chain's interfering over here. She almost idled there for a second. A little juice. A little bit more idle. Look at that. She's a runner. We just got to get the timing dialed in. But I need to figure out a pointer first. So I don't have one, but we're getting close. That's awesome. Well, I think it's going to do it for this this video just because we don't know what we're doing with this engine yet. We don't know if it's going back in the Camaro or if it's going into a different project. So we will let you know when that time comes what the fate of this engine is going to be. It may just get sold. We don't know. But that's going to do it for that video. Pretty quick one. We got it sealed up, got it fired up. Timing still needs to be adjusted, but I don't have a pointer for it yet. And we got to figure out exactly where the top dead center mark is at so we can get more accurate on that. But other than that, she's doing pretty good. So it's definitely a healthy motor, very rowdy. The cam's pretty big. It is a 406, so it's 30 over with dome top pistons, so it's high compression. But really cool motor. Sounds great, and I think it'll make a really good engine for another project, or for a project, maybe back in the Camaro, we don't know yet. So, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. If you made it to the end, appreciate it. Until next time, I'll see y'all later.